السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة وأتم التسليم على نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. Honorable our guest speaker, Dr. Bachir Soualhi, distinguished guest, my dear brothers and sisters, this is our honor to welcome you all to today's session entitled The Application of Halal Label in Marketing Products and Services. A part of our activities and events organized by Islamic Economics Association, Kuwait University, today's session is very important for the researchers, students, and experts who are willing to know more about Islamic finance, Islamic marketing, Islamic Sharia compliant products and services. So, as you know, Islamic Economic Associations of Kuwait University is organizing activities and workshops which usually cover a wide range of topics and areas of Islamic banking and finance, both in Arabic and English languages. So we are very much happy to welcome you all to our regular and ongoing sessions and activities. Today, we are very much happy to welcome Dr. Bachir Soualhi as a speaker, who is the former Special Assistant to the Rector, International Islamic University, Malaysia. And he was the also Director for International Relations Promotion of the university. And his PhD was in Sharia from University Kabangsa, Malaysia. And he served more than 25 years in the International Islamic University, Malaysia, holding various positions as the including head of the Department of Islamic Studies, Director of International Research Funding Research Center, Director of IM Endowment Fund, Director of the International Promotion Scholarships, Director of Business Development and International Collaboration. And he is also a member of IAUM Shura Council 2016 till 2021, and the chairman of IAM Global Forum. Dr. Bachir has also contributions at the international stages, as he is the founder of Al-Bashir Center and founder and chief editor of Al-Muqaddimah, a journal, and founder of Shihab websites, Halal Side Schools Malaysia, and also he is a member of International Union for Muslim Scholars, Doha, Qatar, Vice Chairman of Board Trustee, International Modern Arabic School in Putrajaya, Malaysia. He is also a member of Board of Trustees Al-Muntada Organization, London, UK. Dr. Bachir conducted bilateral meetings and collaborative meetings and workshops. Some of them in UN, UNESCO, ISISCO, OIC, UNIOC, and many more. Dr. Bachir also played a vital role to strengthen bilateral relations and academic research collaborations with many universities and institutions globally, as in US, UK, Australia, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Bangladesh, Pakistan, France, more than 25 countries. So this is an honor for us to welcome Dr. Bachir Soualhi to conduct to this lecture entitled The Application of Halal Label in Marketing Products and Services. Dr. Bachir, welcome, please.
Thank you very much, dear brother Dr. Muhyiddin, for this presentation. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. الإخوة الأفاضل، إخواننا الدكاترة والأساتذة، الإخوة الطلبة والطالبات، ضيوفنا الكرام من كوالالمبور، أحييكم جميعا وأقول السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
السلام.
Our topic for today is the application of halal label in marketing products and services. تطبيقات وسم الحلال في الترويج وفي المنتجات وفي الخدمات. Actually, the halal products is becoming a very big influential business in the world economy. We have noticed a recognition worldwide from many countries, especially in the West, on the significant contribution of the halal product and services, especially in their own economics. And in order to understand how the halal products and services are becoming a very important business worldwide, let us understand the business volume of this halal. If you look at the total sales for halal goods, it's already over $2.2 trillion. This is by the year 2021. Food business only is representing 30% of food products in the world. When we say food products, it's the food which carries the halal label. Even in the Western countries, it is widely spread all over the markets. And together, the food products with the other halal products and services are representing 5.3% of the world economy. And no doubt that this is a huge figure which can show us how important is becoming halal products, as well as any Islamic services, including the Islamic finance and Islamic banking. Now, though we have already talked about the Islamic banking or Islamic finance last time, let us just have a look also, as it is considered as halal products by the Western countries in the same time. The total sales for financial sector is over $3.2 trillion by the year 2021, which represent 3.7% of the world financial market. So $3.2 trillion, no doubt, is a huge amount, which signifies that the world is really accepting this kind of products in business, and we can find it today everywhere in the world, in the Muslim and the non-Muslim world. Now, the estimation of halal product is believed to reach to $10 trillion by year 2030. $10 trillion, no doubt that the world is going to really switch to the halal products and the Islamic finance, as they found in it the most important and the most demanded products so far in the world, It is the most growing economics in the world, and there is no reason for us to hold developing this area of economics as long as we can see the fruits, we can see the results, we can see how we are becoming more dominant as Muslims in providing real contribution in economics, in the world economics, with better services, with most trustworthy services. And this will give us the feeling of more responsibility towards enhancing and improving and developing all the plans in order to assure the sustainability of the Islamic halal products, as well as anything which contributes in Islamic economics. Now, let us have a look on how reliable becomes the halal label today. What is more important in this is that the halal product is becoming a preferred product to an ever-growing groups of consumers in both Muslim and non-Muslim world. Surprisingly, that a large number of non-Muslims in the Western countries, they are preferring the halal products. The reason why they are preferring it is that because they found several important criteria which are not found in the traditional products. In addition to that, they found it's more safe. Any toxics are not supposed to be part of it, otherwise it becomes a non-halal product. It's more transparent, it's more clean, because they know that Muslims are very careful when it comes to cleanliness of their own products. Islam, we are very sensitive on the najasa issue, the filth. Anything which is mixed with najasa or filth will be non-halal products. So Muslims are very careful when it comes to this issue. Plus, the more transparency in selling and purchasing, there's no cheating, there's no bluffing. It's very clear that Muslims, willingly or unwillingly, they prove themselves to respond to the customer demands of having the right to be treated in trustworthiness, in being treated with honesty, with dignity, with transparency, with truth. And that's what Muslims manage, in fact, to prove to the world that they can do it. Now, for Muslims, they are consuming the halal products because it is a religious requirement. So it's about faith in the first place. But again, it's about safety, about cleanliness, about the quality of the food itself, about the trustworthiness, and so on. Now, for non-Muslims, because faith is not part of their motivation of buying the halal products, still they found, as I mentioned, that the halal product is responding to their demands of the cleanliness, the safety, the quality, and so on. In addition to that, to the taste is much better, especially in meat, the halal meat. Now, for many traders, the intention is more economic, is more on profits, especially in the non-Muslim communities. So it is a strategic marketing opportunity rather than a religious requirement. To them, they found that there is a new product in the market, there is a new idea, in the market, which is welcomed by customers. So they have to seize the opportunity, in fact, to get involved and switch to the halal label in order to make more profits. Otherwise, they will miss out this big business opportunity which is taking place in our time today. Now, we can see this with many big companies today which are switching to halal products in order to make more profits. Well, I'm talking here about within the non-Muslim context, the Western context, the American, the Europeans, the Asian, and so on. Take, for example, Nestle products, Nestle company. Nestle company is having 400 facilities around the world. 150 of them are halal. Nestle company is the biggest non-Muslim company which is producing halal products in the world. They have their own business in many countries in the world, in the Muslim and non-Muslim countries, and they are very active in producing halal products. And therefore, they're becoming the leading company in the world in switching into the halal line in order to be ahead of other companies. Well, their intention, as I said, is not about faith, it's about profits. As long as there is a big market on this kind of business. Other companies like Starbucks, for example, like McDonald's, like KFC, like Marks and Spencer's in clothes, many others, again, they are all switching to halal label. Otherwise, they understand they will go under. Now, this will give us a very good impression, regardless of the intention of those companies. We can say that we Muslims, alhamdulillah, we can have a real alternative to the word economics. And even non-Muslims can accept it and find it much better. Big companies, as you can see, are really looking into the halal products as one of the best alternatives to develop their own business. Now, within the Muslim context, we are talking here about Muslim nations or Muslim countries, Muslim communities. That is not the issue. Why is not the issue? Because halal products or halal certification of whatever products consumed by customers is a government responsibility. It is a religious requirement. Therefore, it is not meant for profit as it is meant to provide halal products for all Muslims, because that is the right, in fact, to consume halal products. So it's more religious. It's more about faith. Muslims cannot consume any kind of products. It is very clear. We have certain products which are non-halal products, like products which contain alcohol, for instance, like products which contains some animal ingredients, the pork, the gelatin, for instance, plus, I mean, any kind of products which doesn't make that product halal. So within the Muslim countries or Muslim contexts, governments are taking care of this. So even many Muslim governments are, setting a very huge budget in order to assure that the halal certification is provided to all consuming products. And some of these Muslim countries are considered as leading countries in the world. Today, I mean, we have 3 Muslim countries which are recently considered as the most or the biggest 3 countries in the production of halal products or halal goods, including Indonesia, Malaysia, and Turkey. Many other countries, I mean, this is within the OIC countries. Many other Muslim countries as well, they are doing extremely well, including Saudi Arabia, including Emirates, Kuwait, Qatar, Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, Pakistan, Bangladesh, some Muslim, countries in the Central Asia, even Muslim minorities, large Muslim communities, large Muslim minorities, in fact, in certain countries like in Thailand or in Philippines. So they are doing all very well in terms of providing a full control of the halal products, which has to be under the responsibility of their own governments for the certification and the authorization of the products. So this is a very good news, alhamdulillah, and this will just help us to understand more how important to have our Muslim governments in charge of the authorization of the halal certification. So there will be no manipulation in that case by any private agencies like it is happening in some non-Muslim countries. If you look at in the Western context, in Europe, for instance, there are 16 private certification agencies, which are all private. In Europe, as you know, or US or whatever, the government is not responsible to certify the halal products because they are secular governments. All what the governments are doing is to check based on their standards the quality of the product produced by these so-called companies producing the halal products. So they just check the quality of the product based on their SOP and based on the criteria which they set up. And they are not responsible, in fact, to certify the product being halal or non-halal. So therefore, they allowed certain private agencies to take in charge the certification of whatever products is made in the West. Well, these private agencies, there is no clear clarification or clear understanding to the way they are working, the way they are processing their certification of the products and the level, the halal level which they are producing. Why? Because, as I said, as long as it is not the responsibility of the government, it is based on the initiative of private agencies which they set up their own criteria, their own standards of certification. And with that, you can see the different criteria and standards with all these agencies. Because some of them, they belong to different mazahib in Islam. Some are Sunnah, some are Shia, some within the same sects, they have different mazahib. I mean, some they just rule on the Maliki school, for instance, some on Hanafi, some Hanbali, and so on. So that's how it makes them just certify, having different certification of the products To some of them is halal, and some others is a non-halal. It cannot be certified as halal. This is a problem which we can see in the West. And because of that, I mean, this creates some confusion to the Muslim community there. For the non-Muslims, they don't care as long as they can see the halal label there. So to them, they don't go into the details of how this halal label has been certified. But for Muslims, they might become very, very worried about it, as long as if there is, especially if there is some kind of rumors here and there, or some reports here and there that some of these certifications are fake. So the issue here in many of these agencies, as reported, we don't know, for example, the qualification of the Sharia auditors, who are hired in the Sharia Council in charge of certifying the product. It is reported some of these Sharia auditors or advisors, they don't have any Sharia qualification. They're not holding any Sharia certificate or Sharia degree. Some of them, they have very minimal knowledge about Islam. And most of them, in fact, they are not specialized in Sharia. They might be ordinary workers in their own jobs. Some they work in factories, others they work as taxi drivers or bus driver, and they are members of the Sharia advisors for the certification of halal products. Right. Again, some of the problems which might occur also in this regard is there is no accuracy in check and control of every product. As we know that, as long as today, this halal market is becoming huge, it is not easy to check and control each and every production line in every factory or in every production point, because it is a huge job to do. And so therefore, I mean, sometimes there are some problems occurred here and there where there is no enough committees which will just go around and cover all the production lines in their own countries. And with that, especially if the companies, the producing companies are non-Muslim companies, so there is nothing which can prevent them, in fact, just to put the halal label as they want, as there's no serious punishment or compounds issued by private agencies of certification. This is one of the major issues which is taking place in the Western context. There are also some complaints on the certification process. The certification process itself is another problem. Why? Because it is not only the producer who is in need of applying for certification in order to ensure that his product is Sharia compliance, but also what is needed is also the suppliers, the chain of suppliers has to apply for certification from these agencies, which is not the case in many situations. It's not the case. So there is a complaint regarding on this issue. So people, they don't know who are the suppliers. Sometimes the suppliers themselves, they are not serious or very accurate, in fact, in ensuring the raw material, for example, which is supplied to the end product factory, which is usually taking it in charge of putting the halal label. There is news also reported on the use of fake halal logo on non-halal products. And this you can see usually in some restaurants, some non-Muslim restaurants. So they put the halal seal on their shop that this shop is providing halal food. But in reality, I mean, no one can check if this restaurant is really providing halal food or what. So this is creating another kind of problem. And for that kind of restaurants or company which is producing any kind of goods, to them it's not a big issue as long as customers, whenever they just look at the halal label, so they will be convinced that this is a halal product, so they will just buy it. So there's no real, I mean, control to the situation. I'm talking about the non-Muslim context, or countries which are having multiple or multi-religious countries like Malaysia, for instance, or like Indonesia, so where you can find certain percentage of Muslims, which are which is the majority of them, and you can see the minorities, Chinese, Indian, and some other regions or races. So it's quite difficult sometimes to check and control some of these, producers, if they are really honest and trustworthy in providing halal products. Sometimes they can buy the halal seal. They can just give bribery, rashwa, or whatever, and it's quite difficult, in fact, to control, because they are not responsible and they don't care. They don't have that kind of wara or taqwa as we Muslims do have. Some of these producing company, they just produce certain products and they put Muslim names or Islamic names on their own products. They are non-Muslim companies, but they put some Muslim products like Isra, like Medina, like Barakah. So the Muslim consumer, when he just sees Muslim name, so he wouldn't hesitate that this is halal product. So it has been notified that some of these companies, they're doing this. Some of the products as well, they don't contain enough information on the pack. For example, they do not state the ingredients of the products, right? Though it is an obligation, in fact, to state the ingredients of the products. And sometimes, even if they state the ingredients of the products, they do not specify certain ingredients. Like, for example, when they just write one of the ingredients, they just write gelatin. But what kind of gelatin? It's not stated what kind of gelatin. Is it pork gelatin? Is it cow gelatin? Is it camel gelatin or fish gelatin? It's not stated there, so it is vague. Nobody knows exactly what is it, and this would create a big confusion to the customers or to the consumer. Sometimes they just write cow gelatin, for example, because it is halal in some mazahib, or camel gelatin, but in reality it is not. It is pork gelatin. Sometimes they don't state that the products contains alcohol, right? Sometimes they use more percentage of alcohol, but that's just mention a minor percentage of alcohol. Like this product contains, for example, 0.1% or 0.01% alcohol, which is important, in fact, for the protection of the product itself, as a preservative of the products. But in reality, they are using more than that sometimes. I mean, using 2%, 3%, 4%. That's why it's very difficult to check if the information provided on the pack are correct information or not. We'll come up later on with some solutions made or given or developed by Muslims in order to check whether the product is halal products or not. There is also an exaggeration in using halal label. You can see in some countries halal label everywhere, like here in Malaysia. I mean, if you buy a bottle of water, you just find halal label on it. So it is not clear what is the thing which made this water halal, and why we need to know if this water is halal or non-halal. Usually, things has to be taken based on al-bara' al-asliya or istishabul hal. Water is supposed to be clean, is supposed to be halal, unless there is an evidence which can prove otherwise. Al-bara' al-asliya. I mean, here we can see the sometimes for a marketing reason, they just put on the label of the halal label in every single product, on the clothes, on whatever, you know, in order to just attract the Muslim customers and make them feel safe to buy that kind of product. And this is part of the behavioral economics. The behavioral economics today is a major strategy played by people in marketing. Even it is taught in marketing in universities, how you can manipulate the customer behavior to make him feel satisfied and convinced to buy the product, or to switch from a product to another product. To me, is not needed up to that extent. Things which are clearly known that it is halal, there's no reason to put the halal label on it, unless it contains, or it is becoming a common known products in the market which contains some non-halal ingredients. Then only you can put the halal label. So if we are living within the Muslim community, there's no reason, in fact, majority Muslim communities or 100% Muslim community, there's no reason, in fact, to keep putting on the halal label on their own products, except if this Muslim country is importing products from non-Muslim communities, non-Muslim countries, like if they import any kind of food products or clothes or cosmetic or anything from Europe, for example, from US. So in that case, we need, in fact, to have the halal label on it, because this is going to be consumed by 100% Muslim community. And we might want to make sure that the government is taking full charge of assuring that these products are real halal products. There is confusion between halal products and Islamic products, right? Now, like for example, in tourism, for instance, Islamic tourism, some they call it Islamic tourism, and some others they call it halal tourism. It's very confusing. Some they go to just for their holidays, the rent in a good hotel, for example, 4 stars or 5 stars hotel, and the hotel would say that this is halal hotel. Halal hotel, to them, there is no alcohol to the Muslim customer. There is no bar, there is no alcohol, there is no non-halal food. But once they get in, they will be surprised that they will find bars, they will find non-halal food, including halal food, right? And also, Muslims, especially Muslim women, are allowed to swim using the burkini, the Islamic swimming suit. So Muslims and non-Muslims, they can just wear whatever they want in the swimming pool or on the beach. They will find also in the rooms the Qibla direction. They will find the sijada of Salat, the Sabha, the Masbaha, the Mus'haf of Al-Quran, and so on. So, but the hotel is providing halal services and non-halal services. So in that case, it's very confusing. Very confusing. Some they will just say, we come here. In fact, we thought it is Islamic hotel, but it turns out to be a hotel which provides halal services and non-halal services. So the target customers to the hotel are everybody, Muslims and non-Muslims, or even Muslims who are not conservatives as well. Some Muslims, they drink also. They don't care about the halal, you know. In fact, some other hotels, they just call themselves Islamic hotels. So in order to avoid this confusion, they call themselves Islamic hotel instead of halal hotel. Islamic hotel. In that Islamic hotel, you wouldn't find any non-Muslim services. There's no bars. There's no mixture between males and females in the swimming pool or on the beach of that hotel. So all the services provided are halal. The food, only the halal food in their own restaurants. So you can find these kind of Islamic hotels today spreading over many Muslim countries, like in Malaysia, in Turkey, in Indonesia, in the Gulf countries, and some North African countries, in Central Asian countries, in the East Asia, in many Muslim countries, they provide this kind of Islamic hotel services in order to lift the confusion which might occur in the minds of some consumers. Same thing could be said about the restaurant themselves. Restaurants, they call it halal, but they provide halal food and non-halal food. Within the same restaurants, they provide halal food. At the same time, they provide pork to non-Muslims. They provide alcohol. And this is another big problem, because you will never know how the food was cooked and who is the cook for that food. Sometimes, I mean, they're cooking the same pot, which has the remains of alcohol or pork. Or there's no real control of it, as long as the restaurants is not very interested to make sure that the halal food is clean, is clean of any filth or any mixing with najasa and so on. Same thing for the clothes products. The clothes products today, many companies, they switch to clothes products. Big companies, like the 10% of their products is becoming halal products. Halal products means the cloth doesn't contain any pork skin, for example, or pork hair, or remains of their bones or whatever. So 10% of their products is becoming halal products, because they found that today, I mean, Islamic fashion is becoming a very big business, having big market worldwide. So non-Muslim clothing companies, they are producing today halal products, including Islamic attire, including the hijab, the khimar, the scarf. Big brands producing this kind of Islamic products. But again, we are not very sure, as long as the producer themselves, whether they are taking it seriously to invite the Muslim auditors to certify their own products or not. We are not very sure of that, and nobody can assure us if this is happening or not, if they're doing it or not. That's another big issue, you know. Cosmetic is the same problem. The cosmetics, some big companies, they also claim that now they are producing Islamic cosmetic, Islamic makeup, for example, which doesn't contain any animal gelatin, any alcohol, any non-Islamic ingredients. Even they went very far to say that they are producing some Islamic makeup which allow the Muslim woman to perform her wudu, and the water can reach the skin, so she can pray with that wudu and still keeping her own makeup. I don't know to what extent this is true. To me, I don't understand. I don't think that this is correct, because in Islam, the wudu, the skin has to be fully covered by water. The water has to reach the whole skin, not part of it, right? But anyway, this is one way of marketing their own products, as long as they found many Muslim customers buying these so-called Islamic products. Now, in medical services as well, medicine and medical services. In medicine, we can see many Islamic hospitals are taking place around the Muslim world, where they just provide Islamic medical services. What we mean by Islamic medical services, so the hospital, Islamic hospital, make sure that there is no non-halal ingredients in their own medicine. So all the medicine they use are halal medicine, unless some medicine which are used in conducting surgery or whatever. So there are some fatwa councils which would just give their own views on each and every medicine provided or used by that kind of Islamic hospital. In addition to that, there are some contemporary medical issues which these Islamic hospitals are taking care of. For example, they are very strict when it comes to the organ transplantation, for instance, organ transplantation. So they would do it in a halal way. They are not allowed to, for example, conduct any kind of surgery by forcing somebody else to sell his own organs. It's not made allowing them to make business and gain some money by selling their own organs. This is not allowed in Islam, because we don't own our organs. Some of this transplantation also is not allowed. Like, for example, we cannot transplant the genital parts, for instance. We cannot transplant the eyes. We cannot transplant things which can cause harm to the provider in a way or another, or things which can mix the nestle, which can make sure that there's the objective of nestle is preserved by the Islamic hospital. Same thing for the any kind of negligence which is caused by the hospitals. Like, for example, we have noticed this in the previous COVID-19 epidemic, where many Western hospitals refuse to accept old people infected with virus corona, simply because they are older. So they gave priority to the younger people, because older people usually they will die. There is a big potential for them to die. We in Islamic hospitals, we are not allowed, in fact, to reject anyone as long as they are humans. So we just welcome them and serve them regardless of their age, regardless of their religion, regardless of their social status, being poor or rich. Though some Islamic hospitals, they are not very they are not meeting the Islamic requirements when it comes to the issue of providing services to the poor people. All these are conducted by Islamic hospitals, and they are growing bigger and bigger. Like, for example, in some countries now, the Islamic tourism is becoming a very big business. So Islamic tourism, sometimes they call it the educational tourism, the medical tourism. So a tourist will come to receive some medical services. At the same time, the package contains some touristic programs, or the students will come to conduct some studies or short-term studies programs. So they would have some tourist programs within their package, and so on and so forth. So all that are provided by Muslim communities, as well as these Muslim companies or institutions, in order to make sure that they would just meet the Sharia rules and certified by the Sharia agencies and meeting the Sharia compliance. Now, let us give some solutions to some of these problems taking place, especially within the non-Muslim context, the non-Muslim communities. So some agencies, they develop some applications, like, for example, Scan Halal application. So this is more famous in Europe and United States. Or Verify Halal application. This is developed here in Malaysia. So these kind of applications will help you check the authenticity of the certification and the list of ingredients. You can put the products, you can use it's an application you download from the Play Store, and then you just use the scan the barcode into that application. Then it will just bring you all the details of the product, the certification of the product itself, the ingredients of the product, the details of the ingredients. If the ingredients are stated clearly, what kind of ingredients are there, especially when it comes to gelatin or alcohol, is clearly stated there in details. The producer of the product itself. So it will help a lot to understand whether this product is authentic product or an authentic product. So these are very good solutions, helping many Muslims, especially in the Western communities, to make sure that the products is really halal or non-halal. Well, with that, I can say that since we have a very good response from Muslim communities, even non-Muslim communities, as well as a welcoming impression by the entire world regarding the Islamic halal, the halal product in general, and Islamic economics, we can say that today, alhamdulillah, Muslims are heading towards the right path by having this huge contribution to humanity in solving so many problems the humanity is suffering from, including the problem of consumption of whatever product, especially food, which has to be untoxic food. And therefore, we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we Muslims will just improve and increase our efforts in order to one day serve Muslims, serve humanity at large in a better way, and give good impression about Islam as a religion which comes to solve human problems and serve human needs. It is our duty all. We hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will just shower his rahmah and barakah on all these efforts played by Muslim countries and by Muslim agencies, Muslim producers. Wish them all the best, inshallah. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much, Dr. Bashir, mashallah. for this wonderful session. And Alhamdulillah, we have an complete idea about the figure and of the halal production globally, and also some fact you have mentioned in the lecture, especially halal certification and how to globally get recognized halal products and certification. So now I think we may have some questions from the guest. If you have any question or comment, you may either raise your hand in the Zoom participation area, and you can switch on microphone for you, or you may write your questions in the question box. So this is a good chance to ask if you have any question about halal production, halal services, halal certification. So I think, Doctor, as non-Muslims in the West, especially, they think that halal food is a recipe. Most of them don't have, complete idea about halal food and halal products. So they think like halal food in any restaurant or anywhere in the Muslim countries, it's a recipe only. So what do you think, how may the perception of non-Muslims towards this nutritional value of halal food be recognized or described, so that they can understand that the real meaning of halal food is not only a recipe. So
yeah.
So,
all right. Yeah, correct. Now I think majority, I believe, majority of non-Muslims within the non-Muslim communities, they are exposed to what is halal, because today in this era of knowledge flow, everyone can understand anything in a split of a second by Googling it. So what is this halal food? I mean, maybe the first time they don't know about it. The second time when they go to a halal restaurant, the third time, but one day they will ask, they will check. I mean, why this kind of food is called halal? I mean, today people are very curious to know anything they eat and they consume. So I think that the media is helping to clarify what this halal food is all about. But doesn't mean that we will not do our job. We are supposed also to create more awareness through the media, through the social media. Otherwise, I mean, people wouldn't understand what is this halal food is all about. But I think I mean, if these kind of people exist, they should be a very small minority. That's what I think.
yeah, thank you, Doctor. We are still waiting for any questions or any comments.
You still can ask question in Arabic for those who want to share in Arabic. I can answer in Arabic also, no problem.
Inshallah. Yeah, so we can.
إذا عندكم سؤال باللغة العربية يمكن تسألوا عادي جدا باللغة العربية، ما فيش داعي يعني بالإنجليزية وبالعربية، نجيب العربية ثم نترجمه الإنجليزية عادي جدا إن شاء الله. المهم تسألون أي شيء عن الحلال هذا، نحن إن شاء الله سنحاول أن نجيب، والله أعلم.
Doctor, as we know that there is a halal certification platform affiliated by OIC. It's called CIMIC. CIMIC, I think, headquartered in Turkey, in Istanbul. So, but it's not like globally recognized yet. Like in all Muslim countries, they don't have sub office or like activities or certification authorization from the state. Like we do have 57 Muslim countries around the world, so not all the Muslim countries are recognizing this CIMIC. So this is one of the obstacles, we can say, that to issue any certification of halal, so they have certain criteria in CIMIC. So, and this CIMIC is not recognized completely yet within the Muslim countries or by the Muslim countries. So we do have many more citizens in non-Muslim countries who are also, concerning about halal products and company with halal certification by the authentic platform like CIMIC. So what do you think, how to overcome these obstacles, and what should be the role of CIMIC to reach the global stage and to get recognized by the Muslim countries and also other communities in non-Muslim countries?
Well, for the OIC, of course, because they are all Muslim countries, 57 countries, each country is following different mazhab. I mean, the official, they have official mazhab. The Saudis, they have the Hanbali madhab, the Malaysians, the Shafi'i madhab, Pakistan, the Hanafi madhab, North African, the Maliki madhab. And within these mazahib, there are different views regarding the criteria which should be taken into consideration in the process of the certification of that kind of product. For this platform, which is developed by OIC, I believe that it is quite difficult to be applied within the the OIC countries, as they themselves, most of them, they have already their own halal official halal agency, which is based on their own religious or mazhab criteria. That's why maybe they don't see the need of adopting the OIC platform, halal platform, as it is not quite needed. That could be one explanation which I can give. It might be more useful to Muslim minorities in the Western countries. It might be useful to them. It can help them, because for the Muslim minorities living within the non-Muslim countries, they are not very conservative. They are not very conservative, and because they are living in different contexts, to them, you bring them any opinion from any mazhab, to them, if there's any mazhab saying this is halal product, they go on with it. I mean, they are not very, very fanatic in following certain mazhab over another, because they are living in a very difficult situation, which requires them, in fact, to get any kind of fatwa to halalize that kind of product. Otherwise, for them, it's not. So they can use it. They can use this OIC, the scan application, which can help them to certify the authenticity of the product itself. But again, it doesn't mean that OIC will not work for it. I mean, this is a job which has to be part of OIC duties, because within the Muslim countries also, there are many non-Muslim minorities. Like if you look at Indonesia, for example, almost like 60 or 70 million of population are non-Muslim population, and they like to enjoy the halal products. Same thing in European Muslim countries. There are a large number of non-Muslim minorities living there. So therefore, in India, for instance, 150 million Muslims out of 1.5 billion, which is a huge population. So they have to work on it and try to see what are the real problems of rejection because the Muslim Ummah is in need of this kind of solutions. Otherwise, I mean, we'll be left behind, or we'll lose our credibility. We just say we are not very serious, in fact, in following up one of the most growing economics in the world, which is Islamic halal products, right?
Thank you, Dr. Brother Majid, you ask for initiative, how can I contact Doctor? I have written his email, so you can contact Dr. Bachir via email or through.
Yes, please, yes.
Thank you. Another question from Muhammad Mahdi. السلام عليكم. سؤالي هل المنتجات الحلال خارج البلاد المسلمة لا يعتريها الغش والتلاعب، خاصة وقد دخل في هذه التجارة غير المسلمين، وإن كانت هناك بعض حالات الغش اذكرها لنا بارك الله فيكم.
بارك الله فيك. نحن ذكرنا في المحاضرة أنه فعلا في غير البلاد الإسلامية هناك الكثير من الشركات الكبرى تقوم بإنتاج ما يسمى بمنتجات الحلال، كشركة نيسلي هذه مثلا وغيرها من الشركات الكبرى، وعدد المنتجات التي تنتجها ضخم جدا، يعني يصل إلى ملايير الدولارات. وذكرت في المحاضرة أنه من الصعوبة بمكان التأكد إذا كانت هذه الشركات تقوم بعرض منتجاتها على لجان الحلال من خلال الهيئات المشرفة على تقييم هذه المنتجات من الناحية الشرعية. هناك الكثير من التساؤلات حول هذا الموضوع، الكثير من التساؤلات، ولذلك يعني عمدت الكثير من الدول المسلمة إذا اشترت بعض المنتجات من الدول الغربية عمدت على أن ترسل هي المراقبون الشرعيون لتلك المنتجات قبل أن تستورد تلك المنتجات. على سبيل المثال اللحوم، منتجات اللحوم، على يعني قبل أن تشتري أي دولة مسلمة اللحوم من دولة البرازيل على سبيل المثال أو من أستراليا، هي لا تكتفي فقط بشهادات اللجان الشرعية التي تعين في تلك الدول، بل هي ترسل، هذه الدول المسلمة ترسل الخبراء الشرعيين حتى يراقبوا ويتابعوا ويقيموا هذه المنتجات إذا كانت موافقة لأحكام الشريعة الإسلامية أم لا. فإذا اعتمدوها يأذنون لدولهم بكي تستوردها، وإلا فلا يوجد يعني تلك الثقة الكبيرة في هذا الموضوع. هذا حاصل وهذا واقع. كثير من هذه الهيئات المشرفة على تقييم المنتجات الإسلامية كما ذكرنا في المحاضرة تفتقر إلى الكفاءة، لا يوجد فيها خبراء شرعيين. تجد أن أعضاؤها بعض يعني ليست عنده أي خلفية شرعية، قد يكون مسلما فقط ويصلي في المسجد ويعين في اللجنة الشرعية للحلال، منتجات الحلال. قد يكون نحن لا ننتقص من قيمة العمال يعني، لكن قد يكون شخص يشتغل في مصنع أو سائق تاكسي أو سائق حافلة وهو يعني يفتي في هذه المسائل، وله الختم يختم. أنا أعرف حالات مثل هذه، أعرف حالات مثل هذه في فرنسا، في بلجيكا، وسألوني عن هذا الموضوع وقلت لهم كيف أنتم قبلتم على أنفسكم أن تشتغلوا هذا الشغل؟ قالوا لا يوجد غيرنا يعني يقوم بهذا العمل، فنحن نجتهد، لكن طبعا هذا اجتهاد ناقص، اجتهاد ناقص. ولذلك نحن نقول هذه مهمتنا نحن كدول مسلمة، مهمتنا نحن أن نساعد الأقليات المسلمة في الدول الغربية ونبحث كيف نقدم لهم الخبرة، إما عن طريق دورات شرعية، إما عن طريق إرساليات من الخبراء، إرساليات من خبراء من العلماء المسلمين المستشارين الشرعيين حتى يراقبوا تلك المنتجات ويساعدوهم في التأكد من أنها منتجات حلال. هذا واجبنا وهذا دورنا. أعتقد أن فيه جهود مثل هذا، ولكن هذه الجهود لا تكفي في تغطية كل الاحتياجات الموجودة بالنسبة للأقليات المسلمة التي تعيش في الدول غير المسلمة.
جزاكم الله خيرا أستاذ، شكرا لكم. وشكرا الأخ محمد مادي سؤالك. والأخ محمد سيدي ممكن ترسل المادة محمد جدة، لا توجد مادة علمية.
أنا ممكن أرسل لك المادة إن شاء الله، سأرسلها لك أخ محي الدين.
And by the way, this lecture is also recorded in our channel in YouTube. If you write Nadal Iqtisad al-Islami, or if you write the topic, today's topic, it will automatically come to you and you can rehear the lecture, inshallah. So any more question from the guest? I think there is no more question. So, okay, where can I find the certificate for this course? Oh, okay. You can write to our email, or there is a website, our website. I write the website for you. So in the website, there is a clause. You will see that how to get the certificate, and you just click there and create your ID, and then you write details of the lecture. It will automatically come to you, and our management will send you a password or passcode. Then you will find and you will get the certificate from the committee, inshallah. I write the website for you, www.sharia.org. Everyone, you will find the website here. Any more question or comment from the participants or guests? So on behalf of Nadal Iqtisad al-Islami, we would like to thank all the guests here in the Zoom, more than 60, and also in the classroom, in other channels, in YouTube channel as well. So we thank you very much for your time, for your participation, for your attendance. And also, Jazakumullah khairan, Ustada Duktura Asma, MashaAllah, Barakallahu fikum Ustada, وتشرفنا بحضوركم معنا في هذه المحاضرة القيمة. And we thank Ustada Salma and all the participants, all the guests for your participation here. And we thank our management board, especially our Dr. Halal, who is the Director General of Islamic Economics Association, Kuwait University. So I think there is one question from Brother Ibrahim Lawal. What are the main tasks of halal companies? Yeah, I think Dr. Bachir mentioned some criteria at the beginning of the lecture. I think still we can have some more ideas from Dr. Bachir. Yeah. Dr. Bachir?
You mean the halal companies or the halal certification agencies?
He mentioned halal companies.
Well, the main task of the halal companies, companies producing halal products, if they are Muslim companies, so their duty is to make sure that their product is certified by the halal agencies. And they may have to make sure that these halal agencies are authorized agencies. Otherwise, as I said, they can just become an easy target to some fake agencies providing the certification, the halal certification just for money. Or they are ready, in fact, to take rashwa and just sell the halal label. So they have to make sure. And usually, this is not done by every company producing halal products. Forget about non-Muslim companies. Non-Muslim companies, nothing can force them, in fact, to verify if this certification is authentic certification or not, because to them, their aim is to maximize their own profits, and that's it. I mean, the objective is not about faith. To them, is about making money. But for Muslims, no, this is a different story, you know. But again, I mean, there is a big responsibility upon the shoulder of Muslim producers of any kind of product to make sure that their product is certified officially by authorized agency. Otherwise, I mean, the whatever money they are making is haram money, because they're cheating, consumers, and I mean, bluffing them, misleading them to consume a non-halal products, which is a big sin. Allahu Alam.
Thank you very much, Doctor. If I may add some points for the halal certification of any company, there are like 4 major attributes should be applied. So you can see the details in the SMIC and also other halal certification platform. These 4 attributes are like sanitation and traceability, integrity, composition. These are the things, but they have, you know, explanation and details. So if you go through this, you will have much more idea about this. Yeah, thank you very much. Any more question, I think, from the guest? I think there is no more question. So we thank you very much, and especially our heartfelt gratitude and thanks to Dr. Bachir Soualhi for your time and effort, and this very, very wonderful session. MashaAllah. Jazakumullah khairan, barakallahu fikum. And if you have any concluding remark, Dr. Bashir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Muhyiddin. Actually, these kind of topics are very important topics, especially, I mean, when it comes to discussing the some shortcomings on the upcoming practices regarding the Islamic financial issues or the halal products and services. Our aim here is not to just criticize for the sake of criticism, but we are all on the same boat, and we are trying to help to improve. There is nothing wrong to correct ourselves, to enhance our performance, our efforts, as long as there is good intention of doing this. Alhamdulillah, we are all happy that we Muslims, we are captured by the Western radars, and the radar indicated to them that these people are doing very good. So let's have a deal with them. It doesn't mean that we are doing this because we want to be seen. We are doing this because we want to prove that we can be better. We can really, you know, give better alternatives. We can contribute to help, to serve the humanity, to solve their problems. And we are very happy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this opportunity to show the world the beauty of Islam. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala.
Welcome, Dr. Jazakumullah khairan, kataballah ajrakum. Idhan naktafi huna bihadha al-qadar, inshallah. See you soon in upcoming sessions. With that, we end the session here. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه، وبعد. أحبتنا الكرام،
ها هو نادي الاقتصاد الإسلامي يرافقكم ببرامجه المتنوعة في شهر ديسمبر. مواضيع جديدة تطرح للنقاش والتأصيل والتنظير.
برامجنا ثرية ومتنوعة، نهدف من خلالها إلى خدمة طلاب العلم في جميع أصقاع العالم الإسلامي. فمرحبا بكم جميعا، نسعد دائما بخدمتكم.
ما الفضل إلا لأهل العلم، إنهم على الهدى لمن استهدى أدلاء. فقم بعلم ولا تطلب به بدلا، فالناس موتى وأهل العلم أحياء.
واعلموا أن مجالس العلم موائد كرم، وفيها كل المغنم وأي مغنم. فضائل مجالس العلم كثيرة، وأجورها وفيرة، وخيرها عميم، وأجرها جزيل.
ولتتذكر أن من سلك طريقا يلتمس فيه علما سهل الله به طريقا إلى الجنة.
The programs and activities usually cover a wide range of areas in Islamic banking, microfinance, insurance, capital market, equity market.
هذا العرض المتنوع سيعمل على إنجاحه طاقم علمي جد متميز من الأساتذة والخبراء وأصحاب الفضيلة العلماء، فننصحكم بالمتابعة وعدم تضييع سانحة المشاركة، ونرجو أن تجدوا في برامجنا دوما الأفضل والأحسن.